Please stand for your flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing while Councilman Sarah leads us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, we ask that you watch over all the communities that have been devastated by hurricanes and earthquakes. And we pray that you help the recovery process to be quick and that you protect them from any further loss. And as these deadly storms pass off our coast, we ask that you keep them far out to sea. Amen.
This to advise the meeting notices covering this meeting have been sent and posted as required under the Open Public Meetings Act. We actually opened the meeting at 5 o'clock and went into executive session. At this time, I will ask our solicitor to comment on the topics that were discussed in executive session.
In executive session, the mayor and council discussed one matter relating to personnel. That is the status of the PBA contract. Council received a report from the manager in regards to the current status. Additional information will be made available as that matter moves forward. Council also received a report on the contracts relating to health benefit plans for 2018. The insurance consultant for the municipality attended the executive session and provided updated information in regard to competitive programs. Additional information on this matter will be made available when council makes a decision, which is anticipated in the next 30 to 45 days. The discussion also took place in regard to issues touching upon COA obligations of the municipality. On tonight's agenda, there is Resolution 2017-179 providing a contract extension for Triad Consultants, which organization assists in certain COA matters with the municipality. Additional information will be made available when that resolution is considered. Under personnel, the manager advised that the administrative assistant to the manager, Megan Kaufman, is moving and leaving her position. The manager advised that Ryan Hurst will be appointed to replace Ms. Kaufman. In regard to potential litigation, the council received a report in regard to lateral construction versus Brigantine. The report was presented in regard to the status of mediation efforts that took place yesterday. This matter is not yet resolved. Additional information will be made available as the matter proceeds. Mr. Mayor, that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Cerny. Okay, at this time, we're going to move into our agenda. First order of business is the approval of the council meeting minutes of 8/16/17 and 9/6/17. We have a motion and a second, please.
Second.
Any additions or deletions to the minutes? Okay, seeing none, can we have roll call, please?
You? Yes. Reardon?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
DeLucre?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Simpson?
Yes.
Mayor Gunther?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next we move to the approval of the payroll, requisition list, and operating expenses. Can we have a motion and a second, please?
Make that motion. Second.
Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, could we have roll call, please?
You?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
DeLucre?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Simpson?
Abstain to 17-2015, yes to everything else.
Mayor Gunther?
Abstain to 17-02-068, and yes to everything else.
Motion carried.
Okay, at this time, I will open the meeting for public comment on agenda items only. Anyone who would like to speak on something that is listed on the agenda, please step forward and state your name and address for the record. Yes, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy Barbin, 100 Quay Boulevard. I noticed on the resolution number 15, it talks about the pumping stations, and that's why I'm here. and I'm asking for an update on the pumping station that's been promised at Evans and North 6th Street. I'm not sure if this is the right time to comment. Vince has been wonderful, texting me, calling me, telling me. I heard it was last year, I heard it was September, I heard it was the end of this year. So could we have an update,
I
please?
think we have some good news for you.
Ah, great.
So I'll let our city manager give you an update.
Thank you. The resolution that's on the agenda tonight is not related to that. That's to hire a contractor that we use for maintenance throughout the year for all of our pump stations. But with regard to the proposed pump stations on East Evans Boulevard, so the proposed pump station at 6th Street North and East Evans, and also the upgrades to the 12th Street North pump station, design is almost completed. We have submitted. So the design is completed pending review of the DEP for the environmental permits. They have been submitted, and we're in that kind of holding pattern right now. So as soon as we get our DEP permits, we will be going out to bid. It is close, Mayor. This is a project, if council recalls, we switched engineers in the extreme because the first engineer was not getting the project complete. So that's why we had to go back to the DEP, but we are submitted to them. We're waiting for their review. We don't expect there to be significant changes, so that when we get an answer back from the DEP, we should be ready to go out to bid very quickly.
Okay, that's great, thank you. Actually, I got very excited this morning because I saw trucks on Evans Boulevard, but it turns out they were cutting the lawn at the school.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
And I should recognize Nancy as a volunteer member of our school board, and thank you for serving. Okay, any other public comment on agenda items? Yes, Frank.
Frank Conjami, I live at 605 West Shore. This is my opinion now about number 14, amending for affordable housing. For the last 30 years before I retired and moved here, I worked for a developer building single-family homes, condos, and townhouses as a job supervisor. And it just happens when this thing went through, ends up being my job. And we did them. It's supposed to be two people. It was a Mount Laurel decisions, they called it. 2 adults and 2 or 1 child, or 2 children, excuse me. Well, after we got everything started and it was going, it turns out to be a half a dozen people living in some of these 2-bedroom condos. And the prices of that development, it's a beautiful development, the price of the housing just dropped like crazy. And the way I feel about it, if we have it here, and the prices would probably start dropping right here, I'll be honest with you, I love Brigantine. I'll sell my house and leave because I don't want to stay in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Yes. Absolutely. If you would, please. Sue, if you would, use the microphone for your name and address.
Sue Wick, 145th Street South. The question is very simple. I wanted to know whether discussion of the condition of Brigantine Dog Park should be spoken of under the maintenance of grass, or should I be discussing that under question 20, public comments?
Probably public comment.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thanks. Yes, Mrs. Phillips.
Ann H. Phillips, 308 27th Street. Comments on 3 items, 3 resolutions. Number 1, 176 and 177, State Health Benefit Program. And by the way, does that include school employees? Okay, it was listed there, so I wanted to
Actually,
be sure.
that resolution is going to be pulled from the agenda.
Okay, so we save our questions until the next meeting?
It's being pulled. I don't know if it will come back, but it is being pulled tonight.
Okay, well, are we changing our health provider? Or our health
Not at the present
administrator?
time, so that's why it's not being implemented.
Okay. All right. 179, and I believe the previous speaker was referring to this too, the Affordable Housing Program. Okay. Now, I read something on the internet, and I'm wondering if this is related to this. There's going to be a trial, evidently, which will be held soon to determine each Region 6 municipality's affordable housing requirements. And we're in Region 6, and I guess the judge is Nelson Johnson. 3 parties have issued numbers for the region's municipalities, and brigantines are 308, 1,035, and 268 from 3 different parties who are determining these figures. How are you preparing, what are we doing about affordable housing? How many units do we have? I noticed it's something we're adding 150,000 more to the program. So would you like to comment on that?
I will comment on it. You know, there has been a long history of trying to come into compliance with affordable housing program that dates back probably a decade. We have been involved in a number of issues along with consultants, but Mr. Cerny is actually working on this right now. And I can tell you also that those numbers that you read, we had discussion here about those numbers, that they are, they really are exaggerated and include areas that are not subject to development. There have been a lot of questions about how they came up with those numbers. But also, Brigantine is a community that is essentially at full build-out. We don't have a large vacant land inventory, so we're working to be in compliance through Mr. Cerny's office, and he can give you an update on where we stand right now, but where the process stands right now.
Will Mr. Cerny be representing us at this trial?
Mrs. Phillips wanted to know if you were representing us, and I said yes.
Yes, I mean, I do some of it myself, but we also have other attorneys in the office who do this stuff exclusively, and they are obviously doing work for Brigantine. As to the current status, in the middle of July, Judge Johnson issued an order and basically gave temporary immunity to Brigantine in terms of compliance. Temporary immunity runs through the latter part of this month. That order in July also set down September 27th as a date for a hearing in front of Judge Johnson. So it's anticipated that we will be in front of the court on that date to further discuss this matter. Since the entry of that order in July until now, the court has received from a court-appointed expert, that expert being Richard Redding. The court has received a report from Mr. Redding dealing with the low and moderate income needs for Atlantic, Cape May, Cumberland, and Salem County. That's a report of August 17th. I would anticipate that at the September 27 meeting, there will be extensive discussion of the needs as defined in the Redding report. To the extent that you see a variety of numbers, those numbers go to reports that different experts or purported experts have done. And in all candor, there is not a lot of consistency between the numbers that are coming back from the various experts. So we will be attending the 27th with Judge Johnson, discussing the Redding report, and have a better grip on what the court sees as the obligation of Brigantine on the far side of September 27th.
Yes, thank you. The numbers certainly do vary. And depending on looking at our population, none of them seems to be relevant. Okay, so we'll look forward to that. Okay, the other resolution is 181, True Green Limited Partnership Field Maintenance. Is this new? Have we been doing this?
It is not new. They are the company that does our fertilizing and weed control on our municipal grounds.
Okay, this doesn't include mowing, et cetera. It's, okay, seeding, maintenance, et cetera, fertilizing. Does this include somebody?
It is for Anything that requires a pesticide license
Oh, yeah.
to apply fertilizers, herbicides, and we still mow all of our lawns.
Okay, well, that's good to make that distinction clear, because it doesn't, field maintenance could be more inclusive. Okay. Does that include the golf course as well?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Okay, any other comments on agenda items? Okay. Seeing none, we're going to move into the agenda. Resolution 2017-174, combining bond ordinance into single issue. Resolution providing for the combination of certain issues of general obligation bonds or notes of the City of Brigantine and the County of Atlantic into a single issue of general obligation bonds, Series 2017, comprised of general improvement bonds and water and sewer utility bonds in the aggregate principal amount of $9,450,000. We have a motion and a second, please.
Make that motion. Second.
Okay, Roxanne, do you want to explain this combination issue and no new debt?
This is a formality. These are improvement authorizations that were authorized previously. This just allows us to combine them and obtain or achieve the ultimate bonding capacity at the time, so that you don't spend particularly a lot of money on one issue. It's an economies of scale thing, but we need your approval to do that first.
Okay. All right, any questions by council members? What kind of rates do you anticipate? I mean, where are they right now?
I would still say they're generally pretty good. I'm probably expecting an average of maybe 3.5, maybe 4. I don't really know yet, but the sale is intended to take place the middle of October.
Great. Okay, any further questions by council members? Okay, seeing none, can we have roll call, please?
View,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Mayor Gunther,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, we move to the next resolution, which is the companion resolution determining the form and details of sale of bonds. Do we have a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, can we have roll call, please?
View,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Mayor Gunther,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, we then move to resolution, item 13, which is resolution 2017-178, the final work change order for the living shoreline. And as we all turn, because bond ordinances have more pages than anything else we deal with. Here we go.
Yeah, one more.
One more.
No.
Okay. Whereas City of Brigantine did award a contract for the Brigantine Boulevard Shoreline Stabilization Project and entered into a contract with Arthur Henry in the amount of $143,836. And whereas the contract was amended with change order number 1 to $148,336. And whereas during the performance of the project, the quantities were adjusted as required to complete the project, the final adjusted quantities and additional work being herein enclosed in Appendix A. The contract is hereby amended from $148,336 to $144,579, a net decrease of $3,757. We have a motion and a second, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Ed, do you want to, we always like a decrease.
Yes, I do as well, Mayor. Just briefly, you may recall this, this may sound familiar. Last council meeting, we did a change order increasing the contract by $4,500. That was for additional work that was required to connect the new gabion to the existing adjacent bulkheads. I probably jumped the gun, to be honest with you, on bringing that resolution forward because we didn't have the final quantities yet. but because it was additional work, I wanted to bring it to council. But once we finalized the job and tallied up the actual quantities used for the rest of the contract, it ends up resulting in a decrease. So a decrease in the amount that we had originally proposed. So as confusing as this may sound, if you look at the bottom line, we awarded a contract for $143,836. We're at the end of the day, we're increasing that by $743, even though we did that extra work for the $4,500. So it's confusing. Roxanne gave me a hard time about this resolution, but that's the bottom line. So it ends up being a reduction simply because we increased the contract last meeting more than we needed.
Okay.
Did that clear it up?
Very clear, Nellie.
Well, I'd just like to make one comment. Anytime you want to make a resolution with a decrease in the future, I don't care if it's confusing or not, you can put it through.
I'm going to propose a resolution to decrease council salaries. Actually, I have a question about this, Ed. Item 10 in the reduction, planing soil bed, reduction looks like 900 and some yards, and then supplemental item S2, topsoil. Are those two things related, or are they unconnected?
They're similar, but they're different. So one was a planting bed for landscaping, and the other is hydro seeding and stabilization.
Okay, thanks.
And Ed, I did say decrease in work change orders, not salaries. Okay.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, could we have roll call, please?
You?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
Delivery?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Simpson?
Yes.
Mayor Gunther?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, move the resolution 2017-179, authorizing execution of an amendment to the contract for the administration of the Market to Affordable Housing Program. And this would amend the contract with Triad Advisory Services, Inc., furtherance of our affordable housing program, allocating $200,000 from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund to facilitate the creation of 3 market to affordable housing units. We have a motion and a second, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
And this is actually allocating the transfer of $150,000 to that fund.
And also increasing the fee that we pay Triad by 5%.
Per unit.
Okay, can we have a motion and a second, please?
Already did that.
We already did that? Okay, any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, can we have roll call, please?
You?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
Delivery?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Simpson?
Yes.
Mayor Gunther?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Next, we have Resolution 2007-180, awarding the contract to CRS Services for maintenance and service of the pumping stations. And this is a contract that is based on their value of the contract will exceed $17.5, but will not exceed $25,000. It's based on their proposal. We have a motion and a second, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Mayor, is that KRS or CRS?
KRS. KRS.
You know, with me, it's Stickler.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, can we have roll call, please?
You?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
Delivery?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Simpson?
Yes.
Mayor Gunther?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next we move to Resolution 2017-181, authorizing a contract to True Green Limited Partnership for field maintenance at various locations.
There's a lot of stuff.
And there is no shortage of paperwork from our,
True Green people?
yes.
The contract will not exceed, it's anticipated that the contract will not exceed $20,000.
Thank you, Edward. We have a motion and a second, please.
I'll make
motion?
second.
Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, could we have roll call, please?
View,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Mayor Gunther,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, Resolution 2017-182 is a rental registration refund. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Any
Second.
discussion? Seeing none, could we have roll call, please?
View,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Mayor Gunther,
Yes.
motion carried.
And next we move to our consent agenda. We have the Elks raffle license and the PBA raffle license. Could we have a motion and a second, please?
Make that motion?
Second.
Could we have roll call?
View,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Mayor Gunther,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, next we move to the council manager committee discussion. Thank you. The first one is the farmers market fees. And I see Dave Roundtree here. Dave, do you have anything that you want to add to this discussion? Who is the manager of the farmers market, member of the green team, and the person who gives up every Saturday during the summer.
Volunteers all his time.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. Just if you need a little guidance on this request for a change in not only the fees, but we're requesting a change in the hours also. The change in the time, we'd like to change it from a start time of 8:30 to 8 a.m. And run till noon time. So we would start a half hour earlier since the folks in Brigantine are early risers and they are chomping at the bit to spend their money at the farmer's market. And so to satisfy them, and if we do implement a few of these fee changes, it will also give the vendors extra hours over the course of the season to make some more money. So that's the first request, is to just change the starting time to 8 o'clock. And as far as the fees go, the first fee for one spot, it's $300 if paid by January 31st. That dollar amount is the same as it has been for the last 2 years. That is not going up. So we're not raising the fee if the vendors pay by January 31st. The next two fees and timelines, if they pay after January 31st, it's $50 more if paid by the February 28th, and then after February 28th, it goes up to $400. And we're trying to discourage the vendors from dragging their feet and paying at their leisure. It's become an accounting nightmare for our treasurer, chasing money into the market. Some of the vendors haven't paid until the first week, second week of the market, and that's our fault too. So we hope it's an incentive for the vendors to save $100 by paying in January, and if not, I mean, they'll have to pay a few more dollars, and then we're not going to guarantee them a space if they don't pay after February 28th. So And then the other fees, the second space and the third space, those fees are the same as we've had. And the pop-up space, that refers to the vendors that don't commit to the whole season. We select certain vendors that can only come at a certain time, and we schedule them when it's convenient for us and for them. That was $25. We'd like to raise that to $35 per week. So that's what we're requesting, and I investigated all the other farmers markets in South Jersey. We're right in line with all of them, and for the 16 weeks that our market runs, if you average it out, even if they paid the $400, it comes out to $25 a week, and it's a bargain. Ocean City charges $550 for their season, and it only runs for 13 weeks. So we're definitely in line with all the other markets, and
You certainly have demonstrated success. I mean, you
Yeah.
have a crowd there every weekend, so.
Right.
I think, and it's important too, I think, for you to get the money to do the appropriate advertising and everything early on.
right, our advertising has gone up, our, our marketing, and the cost of our banners and lawn signs, and some of our entertainment and contest prizes, so, and we're not talking about a lot of money. If everybody pays on time, the income and the revenue is going to stay the same. So,
Yeah, Dave, listen, you guys, you do an excellent job, the whole green team. I want to thank you personally. We already thank you, but I want to thank you again.
Thank you, Mike.
And everything looks great, so I'm fully for you. You don't have to say anything else, as far as looking. Whatever you want, you get it, you know?
I'd just like to say, Dave, also, I know like my own family and friends, they love going down there as well. And there's many of us out there in the community that obviously feel the same way. I like your idea, just moving up a half hour just for the early birds, get them out there. If nothing else, it'll aid those people just have other things to do during the day, and if nothing else, it might be anomaly, but it'll help the traffic flow a little bit.
Yeah,
Get more
it's,
people out there a little earlier.
I mean, there are people there at 7 o'clock that want to start shopping, and, we're not prepared for them then, but, by 8 o'clock, we certainly will be.
And it'll help not just the pedestrian traffic, but just the vehicular traffic as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be no great difference, but
Yeah.
better positive than negative.
Yeah, as long as John doesn't have any complaints about it.
Oh, yeah.
John never complains, Dave. Dave, could we just run through the numbers again so I get them straight?
Sure.
If you pay by January 31st, that's still 275? Or is
It's
it?
300.
Oh, 300, okay. By February 28th, 350?
350,
Okay.
correct,
Let's see, after February 28th, 400,
correct.
all right? Pop-up is 35
Yes,
per. A second space is 150,
right,
and a third space is 100.
right.
All right, good, thank you.
We only have, there's only 2 farmers that take advantage of a second and third space. Most of the vendors only take 1 space, so that really doesn't
pacing
affect.
some of the things that sell out every weekend, so those folks are going to have to get there at 8 o'clock in the morning, right?
Right.
If they want a key lime pie or something else that,
Right.
Bring more.
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, so, I appreciate everything the city has done, their cooperation, the police department, fire department, of course, John's department, Ed Stinson, his help, and, we're not asking a whole lot here, and I appreciate your cooperation with that.
And Dave, while we're talking to farmers market, one thing just to think about for next year is possibly paving that area or concreting that area between City Hall and the library, because
talked
people
about
park
that,
there every weekend, and it's a little unstable,
Right.
going through there. So if we could get that, hopefully this winter.
Yeah.
If,
Okay.
if council is on board with these changes, we'll put together an ordinance that amends the fees, and we'll bring it to council for the first meeting in October.
And just while we're discussing the farmer's market,
I think it's a good time to announce that October 21st is the farmers'
Right.
fall market.
Right.
And that the hours are different, 9:30 to 1 o'clock, because
Right.
it's
Yeah,
dark.
that market is October 21st, 9:30 to 1. I believe right now we have 37 vendors scheduled for that market, so.
And there's an apple pie and a pumpkin pie contest.
Apple pie, pumpkin pie contest for that day.
How do we
Correct.
get to be a judge?
Yeah, we need judges. Yeah, so.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay.
Okay, do we need a resolution on this, or are you going to do it in the fee schedule, or how are you going to do it?
We'll have an ordinance together for the next council meeting
Okay.
for introduction that amends the fees.
We do want to prepare our vendor application ASAP. So we need,
I sense support for this.
okay, so we can move forward with these numbers?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Well, just as long as there's a sugar-free pie.
Sugar-free. Okay, you got it.
Thank you, Dave. Next, we're going to have a discussion about the dog park and the maintenance of the dog park. And I know there are some representatives from the dog park here. If you want to come up and participate in the discussion, I think that would be good for us to. We have Sue Wick. Anyone else? Okay.
My name is Sue Wick, 145th Street South, Brigantine. And I've been a member of the Brigantine Dog Park since it was first established. Last time we changed it, the location, I was also on the group that worked on the problems involved with that. So the time has come to do something about the surfacing. I have to congratulate Public Works. They've stopped the floods, at least as far as they're able, by turning off the sprinkler system. Somehow that did manage to stop the puddles the dogs were running through. Of course, now it's dry because we haven't had rain, and so there's dust. We have to really think about what kind of surface we want and do something about it, because the dogs are coming home filthy. And while it's mild like this, it's not a problem to hose them down. But as soon as it gets cold, then you have to find some way to get the dirt off before you get them in the house. And I would like the city to think about some way to deal with this ongoing problem. We tried mulch at the old park. That's a maintenance problem too, because every time you put it down, then next year you have to put more down. Weeds come through it, grass comes through it, and then it's a maintenance problem. There are a couple good solutions, canine grass, and there's a gravel, a type of pea gravel that's very smooth that they use at Ocean City, and that's a good solution too.
What would your suggestion be, sir?
Well, right now, I lean toward the pea gravel because I think we could save our tree if we used pea gravel, and it would have to go if we put down canine grass. But there
What is
may be
canine
other-
grass?
Artificial.
Oh, artificial turf?
I'd be willing to serve on any committee, advisory, anything I can do to make this problem become solved. I know John Doreen suffered fighting his dog, but not any more than the dog owners who have brought their dogs home covered in mud.
No, and I think there's a commitment to fix it. I know, Ed, I don't know who went on the field trip to Ocean City to see the dog park.
John does most of the legwork.
Okay.
It is something that Councilman Sarah and John and I, we've been back and forth. We recognize the difficulties currently. We want to bring to council a plan that A, makes sense for the dog park, but B, makes sense for the city, Public Works, and how we maintain it. Right now, we are leaning towards Ocean City. John spoke with Ocean City, the people that manage that dog park. We know what the surface is there. It actually is very similar to the bar sand that we use at 26th Street Beach. And that is something that I think John's on board with from the maintenance point of view. There would be a cost, and so what we are discussing is building that into the budget for this coming year, because we would have to rip out the grass, we'd have to do something with the irrigation. The system is a deep system. There's a stone base, there's fabric, then there's the foot or so of this bar sand type material. So there's a bit of work. You got to put a border around so that doesn't wash into the grass on the adjacent field. So we are looking at it. I think that is where we are leaning. We still have to come up with the numbers and have that ready for when we look at doing our budget in 2018, and then we would present it for council's support. Then.
All I would ask is you get prices on the dog turf too, and we can compare it, and we can have a discussion about that.
We can.
I think everybody agrees something has to be done, so we're just looking for the best solution. Absolutely. Thank you, Sue. And you'll continue working with anybody else from your group who may be with John? Great. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
All right, and you'll come back with some numbers on how to get this done? Thank you.
Can I ask to just an update on the lock, electronic locking system, where we're at with that?
The lock should be finished by Friday.
Should be finished by Friday.
Ask them what Friday.
Yeah, thanks.
Ask which Friday. The program's been installed.
Okay.
We went to run into the modem at the dog park, and the modem at the dog park is not responding.
Okay.
So they ordered another modem, and we're checking the line. They're supposed to be back tomorrow.
Okay.
Keeping my fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Okay, any other council manager issues? If not, I'll open it up for public comment.
I have one more.
Okay.
Just an update on the beach committee. We recently had a meeting, and a couple of minor things that came up were signage, actually at the jetty. One of the requests that came from the beach patrol is on the tower, the jetty tower, to put something up on the back of the tower to signify which side was surfing, which side was swimming, to try to help with some crowd control down there. And another issue that came up, something similar to California. California, as you walk down the beach paths, they actually have signage that helps to teach a culture of surfing, and it eliminates some of the issues and problems in the water. So they thought this might be something that the city could look into, whether it's on the path, or actually a lot of the young surfers spend time under the jetty tower. They like to hang out down there. So they said if you put a couple of signs underneath that tower, you could actually start to educate those children that are down there who would be the up-and-coming surfers and who would start to build that culture. One of the other things that came up was the line striping we did for parking down at the jetty, down at the cove, and that's actually got really good public reaction. It's helped a lot with some of the parking issues, so I'd like to thank Councilman Simpson for getting that done. So a lot of people were really pleased with that, so thank you. The other big issue that we talked about was beach taxis. One of the things the city's looking into is having a taxi service that would actually help people get down onto the beach. It's something similar that Wildwood uses right now. Right now, Wildwood uses 5 different beach taxis to get people from the boardwalk down to the beach. We're looking at if that would be something reasonable to do in Brigantine. I don't know that we would start with 5. We might start with 1. Wildwood runs it under their beach patrol. We're not sure if we're going to go in that direction, but it's something I wanted to draw to council's attention. There's a fee for using the taxi. Right now, I believe Wildwood's fee structure is $3 for a person, $2 for a child. Anybody who is disabled, it would be $1. So just something to kind of bring council's attention to as we look to move forward on this idea.
What kind of vehicles do they use?
I'd actually have to ask John.
They use Polaris.
Okay, so it's an open vehicle.
It's
Yeah.
got a bucket seat in the front, bucket in the back, and then storage for chairs in the rear.
Uber. We'll drive Ubers.
Okay. Thank you, Vince. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Great.
I got one thing, Mayor. It was oversight by me. We usually do a moment of silence in the beginning. We lost one of our employees about last week to cancer, and I'd like to everybody stand and please recognize Jim Kuzak, which is a 25-year firefighter and a veteran of the Vietnam War. Moment of silence, please. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'm going to open the meeting for public comment. Anyone who would like to address council on any issue, please step forward, use the microphone, and please state your name and address for the record.
I'm Kathy Rashiel, 1301 Ocean Avenue. And I have a question concerning the no left turn signs on the end of 13th Street onto Brigantine. There was some previous discussion that that would be amended to May 15th till September 15th because the traffic in the winter is almost completely dead and there's absolutely no reason not to make a left turn. Is there any progress on that?
I believe there is. Ed, do you?
Yes, Kathy, there is, and it is something that, that we'll make sure gets taken care of immediately.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. So the sign that was there, Ed did say that?
Yeah, we put up the no left turn sign. We ordered the sign that puts the
Okay.
seasonal restrictions.
Has the dates on it?
But we, to be honest, it was off of my mind,
Right.
and I forgot, so.
But John, and I guess there are standards for traffic signs, but I have seen people making left turns there during the summer, even with the sign there.
Summer.
So, I don't know if we can put something larger at the bottom, that puts the dates on there, because if you just put it on a left turn sign, you know, even corrected vision may have a difficult time seeing it.
It's on an 18 by whatever it was, 7.
Okay.
How long do you think that's going to be, John? Couple.
Before the sign up?
Yeah.
Next year.
I think what we'll do is take the.
Can we
the
just
other one
tag
down?
it down or bag it
We'll-
right now?
Yeah, we'll take it
Okay,
down.
thank you. When's that going to happen, John?
Tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you, John.
First thing.
Okay, any other public comments? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion. Are there any council comments?
I have a couple issues or announcements to make from the Green Team meeting. On Wednesday, the 27th, this coming Wednesday, the Health and Wellness Committee from the Green Team will be doing their final walk and cleanup event of the season, and they'll be meeting at 6 o'clock at Shark Park. They clean up up and down Brigantine Avenue. Occasionally, they'll do Ocean Avenue. They pick different areas each time. There is also a drive. Joanne Milnes is collecting crayons. They are recycling crayons. There's some connection she has, so anybody that has crayons, please contact somebody from the Green Team. They will gladly take all your old crayons. And also, the Cultural Arts Commission is having their second annual Scarecrow exhibit of 2017. They're calling on all merchants and city departments and organizations to come up with a scarecrow. Businesses are asked to put their scarecrow in front of their stores or place of business. All the other ones, I believe, like the organizations, will be housed down at the community center, I believe. Yes? And they wanted...
Determined.
To be determined. Okay, we'll let you know on that. And they will go, the scarecrow display will go from October 10th until October 31st. So everybody's encouraged to make a scarecrow, as well as council is. So anybody have any suggestions, let me know. Mike's in charge.
Mike's in charge of...
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I second
Thank
that.
you. That's it.
Thank you, Karen.
AKA Don Ho.
I got one. Want to thank the Brigantine Clean Communities for a successful beach cleanup last week. It was on Saturday. It was great. There was a number of organizations there, good crowd. They're actually cooking up some breakfast sandwiches for everybody, so it was a lot of fun. So I'd like to thank them for their efforts.
Second for the food.
The food was excellent.
And thank John and his crew for the shredding event. It's always a welcomed
Yeah.
event.
Absolutely. Okay, any other public comment or council comments? Rick?
One thing, following on what Karen just said about John, I was a little troubled to hear tonight that John has suffered mightily during the dog park discussion. I'd just like to commit myself, and I hope fellow council members will commit themselves to making your life easier, John.
I'd just like to say another thing. Most of the council was there last night, and I just want to reach out to, or shout out to Phil Arena for her 100th birthday. She came to Brigantine 1946?
49.
48? Okay. So give her a big shout out and congratulations to make 100 years. And I know I won't be here.
Wow.
I agree, Andy, and what an incredible life that she has led, and she's 100 years young and
Still going.
Still going,
Still
very
going
strong,
strong,
but an
yeah.
inspiration to all of us, and it shows, I believe, that it's all about attitude. She is such a positive person and has been involved in so many activities and groups throughout the city of Brigantine and has built so many relationships. We had a full room for someone's 100th birthday party, and the friends who were there were her contemporaries. Not that everyone was 100 years old, but they all felt that she was someone who was a dear friend and actively involved in all the things that they're involved in. So congratulations, Phil Arena.
I guess we can mention about Brigantine Rams football is in full flow. They had an exciting win over Ocean City last Thursday. All three teams are competitive. If you want to see some good football, kids football, watch out for the next.
Blew that call.
The referee was good also.
Okay, if there is no other business before council, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Once again, I want to thank everyone for coming this evening and participating in the meeting, and I want to thank those of you who are watching at home for tuning into your council work. Have a good night.